So, hi friends, anybody and everybody who's watching this, thanks for joining us for this live session. Uh, and we'll be talking about child sexual abuse today. A lot of people have been asking me child sexual abuse during these times when everybody is in a lockdown. Is it actually needed? Do we need that? Is it happening? The game is that child sexual abuse is difficult, is happening right now. And by the way, if you really ask me, the statistics are showing that this is increasing during these times. And thanks for coming in. And Parvarish had started off a program, a campaign called Aao Baat Kare, 2 years back. It's been 2 years plus now. And before the times the lockdown started, we had covered 195,000 plus children, where we had gone to schools, NGOs, villages through Ekal Vidyalayas. We've done these programs with shelter homes, with uh, NGOs working with children. That could be Prayas, that could be IVF, that could be Navjyoti, and many more across the country. Even done sessions with children who were sleeping under the flyover and reached out to more than 195,000 children. And it came to a pause when this whole thing happened. But we really want to make sure that this pause is not a pause. This pause, right? Uh, this pause is not a pause. It's not a stoppage. It's just a pause which is happening right now. So taking this on with you all and really requesting everybody here, any parent, teacher, anybody who's associated with children, who really looking at that, we really need to make India free from child sexual abuse, to join hands right now. And we'll be doing these sessions online now with schools, with parents. We've been doing a few of them. We've done at least 3 or 4 of them with teachers. There's one more coming up this tomorrow. Again, we are looking at training teachers who can go to the schools. Each one of you would have heard about several incidents, the boys' locker room incident happening and all that stuff happening. Even in these times, the exposure to our children is humongous. Our children don't have anything to do. They don't have friends to play with. They don't have anywhere to go out. They're spending most of their time on screens. And that is the easiest way to get into porn, the easiest way to send them porn, get them hooked onto these. We feel child sexual abuse needs a physical contact. It does not. That's a myth. Child sexual abuse does not always mean having a physical contact with the child. Introducing them to porn, showing them inappropriate stuff, asking them to send their own pictures, sexting, all of that exchange comes under child sexual abuse, because at these ages, when our children are getting exposed to all this stuff, it gets very, very difficult for them to come out of it. You can imagine that how much attracting or titillating all this information, all these photographs and all these videos can be, and it gets very, very, very tough for a child to come out of it. So this today's session was supposedly basically to make you aware of what is happening with them. So where I want to start this with is to share a video with you, something which started off this whole campaign on eradication of child sexual abuse 2 years back. This is a TED talk I did 2 years back in NIT. And my request would be, we will get back into the session and have a quick discussion after each one of you goes through this. And my request is for people who are watching it, as much as possible, start doing watch parties for whoever you know. Let other people also know it. This is a campaign we really want to reach out to each and every child, each and every parent, each and every teacher in this world. So my request is, whether you're in India or anybody else, our campaign was to eradicate child sexual abuse from till 2030, which came to a pause because of this whole COVID situation. But we are relaunching this. This today's program can be started off a relaunch, that we need to do that and make sure this happens. So really join hands so that we all can make this menace be wiped out from our country first, and then let's look at the entire world.
So hi, good morning. So I want to start this with a very quick, nice game. Everybody's on. So this game is called Follow the Leader. So all you have to do is repeat what I say. So there'll be some words coming out on your screen, and I'll say them out, and I want you to repeat them. Simple? So let's start. Head. shoulder, mouth, legs, breasts, penis, vagina. What happened? Something shifted? Nothing. It did. Imagine if your parents were sitting here. Nikalta muh se. Or the other way around, if your children were sitting right next to you.
How do you feel? Whatever we said, right? These are body parts. And all of us, not all of us, maybe 3.5 billion people in the world have my body parts. Not mine, but similar. And the other 3.5 billion people have the other gender body parts. But it's so difficult, right? It's so difficult to say what's out. It's so easy to say a mouth, and it's so difficult to call a vagina. It's difficult, right? And in India, it's far more difficult. It's like these talks are not to be done in public. These talks are not to be done in the drawing room. You can't talk about it. It's a no, right? But is it a no? I think with our friends, if we get around, even if you are 10-year-olds to maybe a 55-year-old group, you can see them giggling on the side.
Seeing those WhatsApp messages, those videos, exchanging those photographs, those jokes, उस time पे चलता है. But with any other places, it doesn't really work. It's like a real no. You know, when I was a small child, and I think each one of us, you would have gone through it, I had these questions. How did my sister get into my mom's stomach? How did, when and why did God decide to give me a younger sister? What if He decides to do it again? Now, parents are 75. Why do adult girls need a diaper? And I don't. And the rest of it all is, whenever I have these questions from my parents and adults around, why did they never seem to listen? उनको सुनाई नहीं देता जब मैं questions पूछ रहा होता हूँ. They look the other way and slyly maybe get out of the room. But you know, these questions never stopped. And I'm sure each one of you had these questions. And I think first time we asked our own parents. Never got those answers from the adults of our life. So where did we go? We went to those people who actually gave us the answers. So we went to our friends. And they did not even give us the answers to it. The visual explanations came along. And they said, "Arey, tu ye bhi nahi janta."
And that was 1980s. We are in the 21st century. In the 21st century, I have the internet. So when I have these questions, where do I go? To the internet. And the internet gives you the visual explanations, the audio explanations, the photographs. And the best part of it is that whenever I go onto the net, where I'm researching or maybe checking my emails or going anywhere in the world, there's a pop-up.
Urging me to go there. Those porn sites hook you on, right? They're addictive. And they want you to go there. It's difficult to just... And by the way, when our children in this 21st century went to their friends, it was difficult for them to ask their friends first. Because ऐसा लग रहा था कि they'll scoff at you. They will say, "Oh, he's a kid." They don't even explain this. They explain it to you. They give you the visual explanation. They tell you the right sites where to go. But they also want you to practice it. They actually urge you to do it. Whether you are 12, 13 or 14, doesn't matter. And by the way, if you really look at it, if I don't want to do it, and if I have my reservations, I'll be told, you belong to the last generation. You don't belong to this generation. You are an oldie, your thoughts are old, and you're a loser. So it gets very difficult to children not to do it and be avoiding it. And well, I'm sure each one of you has had their own experience of this. Going to your friends, having this whole convoluted knowledge about sex, having that whole disempowering context. And when I became a father, I had the same fears. I had the same fears for my children. I didn't want them to go through the same process, the same difficult process, have the same disempowering context about sexuality, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to do, not knowing where to go. And one more big thing was child sexual abuse. I was worried about child sexual abuse. Will get sexually abused. Having gone through myself, having been at the receiving end myself, having met a lot of people who've gone through it, and if I tell you, the statistics say about 53% people go through it. My personal experience for the last 10 years working with these people, I think about 85 to 90% of people go through it. And sex abuse is not about only penetrative sex, it's about a bad touch also. It's rampant. So very early on when I became a father, I took on my...
that I would do it. The question I asked myself at that point of time was, who do I want my child to go to? Who do I want my child to go to if he or she has a question? If he or she has a query about it? The answer was simple. It was simple but very difficult. The answer was me. I wanted them to come to me because I wanted to talk to them powerfully. I wanted them to have a great relationship with this whole world of sex and sexuality. So I took it on. I took on really early. Maine karna hai. So Aman was 9. And I thought about it that I have to speak to my children before they turn adolescents. Before anybody else talks to them about it, before they want to wander around, I wanted to speak to them. So he was about 9 and I was preparing myself. I even bought a book, a very visual book, which I thought I will guide them through it.
Through all the processes about sex and sexuality, how does it happen, what happens. That book and kept it in my cupboard, in my wardrobe. And kept it like this, not even like this. So every morning when I used to open that wardrobe to take out my clothes, that book used to speak to me. Sushant, you said it, but you don't have the guts. And that happened for 6 months every day. And I kept telling myself, karna hai, but just didn't have the guts to speak to him. It was June, he was turning 10, and we were planned a holiday out. And I thought, holidays are the best time. We'll be relaxed, और आराम से I'll sit with him and talk to him about it. So there was the holiday. I had packed that book also in my baggage. Then the entire holiday passed. The week passed by, and I couldn't find the opportune time to speak to him. We were on the way back, on the flight. Monica and my daughter Vanya were sleeping. Aman was sitting right next to me. And I gathered all the courage. I was sweating and I was freezing, right? Both at the same time. I took a book from the handbag and put it on the tray table. And I said, Aman, I want to talk to you. It was like, ab to kar diya. Now there's no way out. You've told him, book is lying here, you said, I want to talk. And by the way, it just took 10 minutes. It took 10 minutes to walk him through with the pictures that this is how your body, this is how the opposite gender body is, this is what the body parts are, this is what the functions are, this is how sex happens, this is how babies are made. Over in 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, he looked at me and said, okay, fine, thank you for telling me. Can I go back to my book? And he went back to his own book he was reading. 10 minutes and over. With Vanya, it was easier, okay? At about 3, we spoke about what child sexual abuse is, what are private parts, and how does she protect herself. For months, every month, we used to practice shouting out a no. A loud, vehement no. And we practiced it till the time she became natural at it. She could actually say it out without a hitch. We talked about everything. We talked about body parts. We talked about menstruation cycle. When is it going to start? How is she going to start? How is she going to bear a baby? How a baby is made? What is sex? The works of it. And I'll tell you, it's been beautiful. These children, wherever they have a query, where they have a question, they don't know, they really know where do they want to go. It's me and Monica, and they talk about it without a hitch. They can even joke around with us. Few weeks back, okay, and Vanya is turning 12, and she came back to me, she was worried, looking worried, and said, Papa, dar lag raha hai. I said, what happened? She said, you know what, the periods can start any day. What if they start at the school? Carry a sanitary napkin in my bag? Will I be able to bear it? It's painful, right? And I gave her a hug, and I spoke to her. I said, it's fine to be anxious about it. It's fine to be worried about it. But you know, every female's body, not just women, but every female's body in this world is made to take it. Yes, it will be painful. Yes, it will cause a bit. But you are capable. Your body is capable of taking it. It's perfectly fine. Fine to be anxious about it. Do keep a pad in your bag. It will help you when you need it. And I gave her a hug. And the relief on her face was palpable. It was amazing. While I'm talking to you, it's like, it's those goosebumps. And I'll tell you, lots have been done on child sexual abuse. Lots have been done in this country. Videos are being made, books are being written, children are few months back, I was reading about a girl in London. She died because she was using tampons and she didn't change them in time and the infection spread. And she died because of that infection. This is dangerous. Not just in India, everywhere around. We need to talk. So for the last few years, we've been talking to parents, we've been talking to teachers. We're asking them to go tell their child, "Aao baat kare." And believe me or not, a few of the parents have called us and said, "Sushant, thank you. Thanks for the work you're doing. Thank you for empowering us for this talk with our own children. Because of this talk, because we connected with them, these kids averted a sexual abuse incident." And that day I said that this is worth it. The pain I went through 6 months, the difficulty the parents goes through is worth every minute of it. And we at Parvarish have taken on. We want to take this to every child, like every child in the world, to talk to them responsibly so that they take it on. They live a great life. They live a life expressing themselves. So friends, आओ बात करें. आओ बात करें so that we give up our inhibitions. We give up our barriers so that our children are empowered. आओ बात करें so that they can life undamaged. You know the kind of damage this causes? It damages your self-esteem. It damages your self-confidence. It damages your self-expression. I said, telling myself that I'm weak. I couldn't share my incident with anybody. My parents still don't know about it. One more thing which it damages is the breach of trust. 85% of the time, the trust is being done by the person who the child knows. You know, we all lose trust. We start our all relationships, whether it is personal or professional, from distrust. We carry that load all our lives. So, आओ बात करें. आओ बात करें so that our children are safe. आओ बात करें so that this society is safe. आओ बात करें that life expressing themselves fully versus coming out with what if. What if I get abused? What if my children get abused? आओ बात करें so that this space we honor, we respect our own bodies and respect the body of the other person. So friends, आओ बात करें. आओ बात करें.
Really come together. Parvarish alone cannot do it. We need to all come together. There are 40 crore children in India, and we need to reach out to each and every one of them. So my request, and I was sharing earlier, it's not just that currently it's not happening. In the first 3 weeks, the child helpline got more than 4.5 lakh more than 4.5 lakh calls, and more than 30% of those were of sexual abuse and physical abuse with children. So this is not the time. I think this is the time when all of you as parents are with them. And by the way, we're looking at them to be at home and on screen, completely linked to the world of the web. You must have heard of the dark web. Children are going there. Uh, just to share a few numbers with you, 53% of children go through child sexual abuse. That's the published number. In the last 10 years, our experience of working with children, parents, and teachers, it's been 85%. And in 8 out of 10 cases, the abuser is known to the child. So if he say he's at home and everybody knows him, it's perfectly fine. Mostly, the person who knows the child is the person who's abusing the child. We need to empower each and every child to make it happen for themselves, so them they can stop the abuse themselves and they can protect themselves. And friends, this needs to be done very, very, very early. If your child is 3-year old or 18-year old or anywhere around, you cannot ignore this message or ignore this video. Our children are getting into sexual acts at an age of 13 to 14, 15 years, which can be fatal. So my friend, anybody who's listening to this video, make sure that we start learning how to talk to them and bring it together. It's a need. We need to fulfill it right now. Do not put it to the next day. And I'm sure a lot of people who are listening to this would have themselves gone through it. And just think about that. How much time did it take for you to get over it? I'm sure a lot of you would have not even got over it till now. It would have been decades and still is hanging there. It still hurts, it still bleeds. So do not, and I'm sure as a parent or as a teacher, none of us wants to make us our children to go through this ever. So we're doing a session tomorrow with the teachers, and we'll be doing more with parents and children, and I'll keep you updated. The session is tomorrow. I'm posting the poster and the link to join that program. Do not think twice about it. Uh, there is an investment of 200 rupees for everyone who wants to join this program, and that money we are collecting under our foundation, and this money goes towards conducting these sessions with children, people who cannot afford it. So these 200 rupees goes towards your contribution towards the campaign itself. So don't think about it. If you're a parent or a teacher, this particular program tomorrow is for teachers. We're coming up with the program with parents, and we would want to empower each and every parent on earth to make sure that they are able to communicate that. It's not about they knowing about it. It's not about they looking at a video or a book. It needs to be taught. How baat kare is the game. So friends, I know it's difficult, but that's the only way. We are fighting something which needs eradication. The way we came out together as Indians and eradicated polio a few decades back, we need to do this with child sexual abuse. So my request, and thanks for listening to me. Thanks for my request again would be to share it far and wide so that each and every parent, each and every teacher, and each and every child can be reached, and we eradicate this menace from first from India and then from the world. So all the best, friends. Take care, and I'm posting the details of tomorrow's program right in this video, and hope to see you tomorrow. And please disseminate to everyone you can. Let's join hands together to make India free from child sexual abuse. And as I said, आओ बात करें. Thanks for listening, and all the best, and keep safe.